Will Simpson in exploring photography was previously recorded in a studio in front of zero audience. Oh hey, how's it going guys? So as you just heard, I recorded this previously because I am currently in Virginia about to get married. We are building everything from the platform to the ceremony to the benches, all the decorations. It is going to be absolutely phenomenal, and I plan to do a video on that a little bit later. I've been recording and documenting everything, and it's looking so freaking good. I am very excited, and I'm gonna be married, so I'm super excited about that as well. So as of this video, there's like 5 days until my wedding. But I didn't want to miss a video for you guys. So today we're talking about some simple posing tips to give you somewhere to start, because it's always good to have an idea when you get to a shoot with a couple and you are not sure exactly what to do, how to have something to reference, because you'll think of ideas as you're going, and that's great. But sometimes in those quiet moments, those awkward moments, you know, you look at your phone, check a photo, and recreate that photo, so to speak. So in this video, I recommend every time I'm gonna put a photo up as an example, screenshot it and put it in your phone and put it in a folder called couple poses or something like that, or couple ideas, things like that. That way, if you get lost, you can reference these photos and keep on shooting. And the first one is super simple. It is the standard walking photo. So this one is great and works in any kind of layout. This one here, you can see we did it at a beach. So what I did with this one is I have her holding his hand, leading him, and then she's looking out off into the sun. He's gazing fondly at her, and it looks really, really pretty. I think I shot this at a 50mm. Most of these are shot between 24 and 70, generally averaging about 50mm. So this one is just a really cute photo. Have her showing a little bit of leg because they're on the beach. Have her looking out, beautifully gazing out into the water, and him looking at her. It's a very sweet photo, and then I just have them walk slowly towards me, take a bunch of photos, and that's always a classic. The next photo is, let's say it's an engagement or something like that. This photo is a really, really standard one. Again, shot at about 50mm. Have them kind of looking at each other, her with the hand wrapped around his neck, holding out the ring. Always a very, very, very classy photo. And I do this photo with every single couple because it's the classic I'm engaged photo and I'm in love photo, and so highly recommend doing that one. The next one, another classic, is the lifting. So have him lift her up by the buttocks, have her kick her feet. Now an important thing is whenever her feet are off the ground, have a pointed toe. Notice how her toes are pointed in both feet. It elongates the legs and makes her look longer, more aesthetic, more beautiful, things like that. Also, notice her arms are around his neck. Now they're not like this, they're not like bunched around his neck, but you can have them out like this. You can have them kind of relaxed around his neck, something like that. It creates that flow, and her legs being pointed elongates everything, and it just comes together really nice. And this works again in every scene. The next one, which I like, is really classic. It's kind of a more personal one, but this one here, it is we're looking off into the sunset or the distance, and it's just like a ring. It's more of an engagement kind of photo, but works good if the couple is newly engaged, newlywed, even long-term, like if they've been married 50 years, great. This is also a classic photo. It's one of my favorites in black and white. Always reminds me of that, you know, black and white photo with a white mat framed in a black frame on the wall. This is that photo to me, and it just looks really good. The key here, make sure he has an open hand, because if he closes his hand, it'll turn her hand up. So he has an open hand. She's holding his hand, as you can see, but loosely. So not like a full-on hand hold, it's a loose hold. And then you just have her so her hands up so the ring shows and it's straight on. One tip when shooting rings like this, make sure that the ring is always centered and centered to the camera, because if your hand is tilted, you want the ring to be facing the camera. So centered to the camera, always an important thing to check when you're taking these photos. Another one that's very similar, that's really, really pretty, is this one here. This one is more of a close-up, and I really, really like this one. This is a very good job of framing. So you have them in the top right corner, almost kissing, but like showing their love. And then you have her ring being shown. Now with this one specifically, I wish I would have had her middle finger outside of the shirt. That way you could see it, because someone pointed out to me that it kind of looks like her finger got kind of cut off, which whatever, I think it's beautiful as it is, but next time I take it, I will have her finger outside of the shirt and then the other one visible, but still kind of in the shirt. But this is a more personal close-up photo, which I highly recommend taking because it's very sweet and it looks really, really good, plus shows off the ring as well. Now another one that's really, really nice is this one here. Now this one you can have the guy facing away and just looking at her, or them kissing, how I have it here. And you can also have her either holding his hand like in this photo, or kind of wrapping her arm around his hand and then her other hand on his shoulder to again show off the ring. Works really good for engagements. So she can be looking at you smiling, she can be kind of leaning like this. I wouldn't have her lean too much because then you get a weird crick in the neck. So just kind of a slight tilt to him, or in this case you can have them kissing. Both work, both are beautiful. I recommend taking both. Now, another one that is kind of, if your couples want to do a little bit of a spicy photo, there's two versions of this. One, actually these are two totally different photos, but you can do one that's a little spicy, or you can do one that's a little bit less spicy if they're more conservative, which is totally fine. Some couples are, some couples aren't. So this is the first one where the guy is lifting her up. Again, notice the pointed toes in the water, kissing in the water. It's a beautiful photo. Then there's the spicy version of it, where this one is her leg is lifted around him, and then she is wrapping herself into him. He's kind of going down, kissing her neck, and she's like lifting up, you know, just in the moment. So a couple of points with this one. First, make sure that her leg that is down, is close to his legs, because if you get it too far out, it looks kind of like a triangle lean and the lines aren't clean. The other thing, make sure her body is kind of shifted to his left. So if he's standing like this and to the camera, don't make them chest to chest, make her pushed out a little bit more towards the camera. That way she can get her leg around. And then her arms, make sure her arm goes around his neck, hand on the chest, and him, make sure that his left hand, the one you can't see, is kind of on her lower back, because he can put pressure there, causing her to arch her lower back and get more tension and more push, and like helps the bodies push together to look more romantic, more sexy, things like that. So they're all little key points with this that really bring this photo together to make it look very, very hot and very spicy. I'm a big fan of these. I love doing these with all of my couples. Even if they are a little conservative, doing these, they always love it. And they're like, oh my God, is that me? And I'm like, yeah. And they're like, that's amazing. So always good to kind of push your couples in if they're willing to do a photo like this. Okay, keeping the theme with a little bit spicy, but a little bit less aggressive spiciness, this one here. Have the guy lay down on his side and kind of sit up with his elbow. Then have the girl, as you see, kind of wrap around. Again, you can see the ring on this one, so it's good for engagements, but then have her kind of dip her chin down a little, not too much into him, and then eyes up. So it's like a up and looking at you. It's very romantic. This is just I love this photo. This is one of my favorite photos I did with this couple, and they loved it too. So this is a very sweet photo, very romantic, and still has that little edge of spice to it. So good. Now, another one that's really, really nice is this one here. This is getting on the spicy end. So again, same position that we were just in with the guy on his elbow. Have the girl wrap around him and throw the leg over his leg, showing her leg, and then you shoot at them looking at each other. This is a very spicy photo. If you back up a little and then shoot down, you can really show her off a little bit more, and couples love this one as well. So this is also a really nice photo to take with your couples. Okay, moving on to, let's say, a more of a sweet photo. This was at a surprise proposal. So this one was really cute. So the girl wraps her arms around his neck, he hugs, holding the ring, and it's just a very sweet photo. It's very standard. You can do lots of versions of this photo as well. You can do one where he's looking at you going like a kind of a hidden photo. You can do one where you take from the other side and it's her smiling at you, and maybe she has the ring on. She's like, you know, all different versions of this. So this pose right here is very is a good one for that kind of stuff. And then let's see, another one that's kind of a little spicy, but also kind of cute, is have them sit down, have her kind of lay between his legs, looking up at him. They can be smiling, they can be looking into each other's eyes, they can be kissing as in this one, but it's still got that sexy, but it's also a sweet photo as well. So that's that one. And then finally, moving on to one if they have kids, you can, or babies in this case, and this one is just her just wrapping around him, smiling at the camera, or maybe she's looking at him, or however you want to pose them. But this one is really cute, especially if they have young kids or babies, things like that. So this is very simple, very nice. You can do it posed, you can do it candid, however you want to do it. And those are my quick and easy poses that gives you somewhere to start, because a lot of times you get into photography and you're like, okay, how do I pose them? The key to remember is the little things. If you're doing a couples poses, make sure that their hands, they're always going to ask what to do with my hands. Well, just naturally place them on each other, because when you have connection, if you have one hand just out here not doing anything, it looks weird. But if their hands are on each other, it shows connection, it shows intimacy, and it makes for a much better photo. One of my things that I tell all of my clients is if it feels uncomfortable, it's gonna look great. If you feel comfortable, it's probably not gonna look good in camera. So feel free to use that all you want, but that's kind of a cool tip. But that wraps up this video. So if this was helpful, go ahead and get a like. Which was your favorite pose? Do you guys like the sweet and intimate, or do you like the sexy and intimate? Let me know in the comments. Subscribe if you haven't already. Also, you'll probably notice that there's been these badges. So if you want to learn more, I have a couple of courses out right now. Go ahead and click the link in the description. There are more going to be coming soon, but there are a couple there now. So go ahead and click that link in the description. Check out the courses that I have. And the next video you see, I will be officially married. Oh my God. Okay, to future self. Good job. See you guys next week.